haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15%.
Only PNM could do that. You think UNC could do that?
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. When I am romancing, I'm always looking to make sure that the camera is on in order to show the love and the affection and the care, the chemistry that is going on. Always check to see, make sure the lighting is good, you know. Good evening. First of all, happy birthday to my brother, Scott Rodriguez, the godfather of my biggest daughter, my brother, my partner, Scott Rodriguez, a gem of an individual. Happy birthday, my brother. Now, Archie, I want to start off the show by saying, Archie, I just cannot understand. I was there. How the Express could leave me out the picture? Archie, don't laugh at me, Archie, man. Express, because I criticize you every day and show your PNM bias and show that you had Asha Javid, who was laying down under a small pin after he horned John Jeremy, and it's only PNM she liked, but she was the #1 political journalist, investigative journalist, bad talking and lying on camera, and she government for 5 years, over 75 front pages of lies from Asha Javid. Express, I'm sure the whole country that y'all are PNM, y'all are biased, so y'all left me out the picture. Express, how you can leave me out the picture? I was there. Aren't you laughing at me? I was there. How y'all leave me out the picture? Listen to me. All joke aside, I wear a red shirt. On the monitor, they're looking red, it's looking orange. I don't know if it's looking red on Archie thing or in all your phone. Share the live, because let me tell you something. If any human being who is not getting a job, a contract, or some benefit from the PNM, after this episode, if you all still vote PNM, you're wicked to yourself, you're wicked to your significant other, you're wicked to your children, you're wicked to your grandchildren, you're wicked to the country, you're just wicked. Because anybody who could vote for that bag of clowns after this hour and a half, I can't help all you again. Now, if you're getting a work, if you're a counselor, if you're in the cabinet, if you're a board chairman, or you're on a board, or you're getting contract, all right, me ain't interested in all you, right? So you see, like Rhoda Barat, you gain your 15,000 from NLCB because Colin put you there and create a job. Good for you. You could love PNM because you, over the last 7 years, you make at least 1.4 million in that. That's what we know about. So that's okay. I have no problem with you. You happy, you put food on your table because PNM. I talking about anybody else who is not directly benefiting from PNM being in power. If after this show, all you still vote for PNM, well, boy, I can't help all you again. But Lord's athletes' achievements for 2022. But talking about the athletes' performance. These athletes who performed despite the neglect from the PNM. The budget 4 hours and 12 minutes. The man he mentioned sport. Nothing. Actually show them, run it. Well, sport. They put sport on youth. Well, last year, actually, sport get 1 minute and 23 seconds. Well, this year, sport get 10 seconds. It had nothing for sport. The only thing he talk about sport is, hey boy, we athletes did well without the PNM help. So just raise them athletes. That's no joke. I just put LMAO. Look, sport. Kamla, sport. Okay. He congratulate athletes who performed despite the PNM and named the facilities that were built by Kamla. that is sport. Let me move on, yes? So already, if you love sport, your children in sport, your teacher, your PE teacher, your coach, if once you're in sport, you can't vote PNM. Changes to gate. Let's see if you like education, you like children again. Here this education minister who wear a curtain and match the bag and the shoe with the same bolt or cloth. Changes, education minister bundle says, changes to gate to stem wastage. The PNM has this way that anything spent on you, the people, is wastage. So Kamla had gate with Fazal Karim up to 726 million, extended to TechVoc, going across the board. 59,000 children per year enrolled in tertiary education. PNM come, Rowley come and slash that, take it down to 300 million. 28,000 rather than 59,000. Children had to drop out, they couldn't make, they pelt away children for 7 years. They come and say, oh well, we cut it down to 3, we raise it by 50 million. Wow, we back on top. And this woman, this minister come to say, the changes they made was because there's wastage. So the taxpayer money is wasted on your children education, but not wasted on the mosquito crack, not wasted on the red house that leak on Donna Cox weave, not wasted on 118 million for our president's house for the sleeping bear to balance and dance the two-step, not wasted on a central block that they had to retender and the glitch occurred and the company that glitched to get to tender end up winning the contract and the contract gone up by another 150 million. No, not to build. There are no wastage in an airport for Tobago without tourists. So them going to build an airport for $1.2 billion up from 300 million and they had no tourists arriving. So the plane will come and bring mosquito. But you all see that's not wastage. You know what's wastage? They're spending money on your children to go to school, and then you want to know why crime is so high and why there's no opportunity and why we're suffering from brain drain. Well, boy, minister applauds. This is a PNM minister, applauds a world-class walkover. Now pray tell all you, share the live now, because I want somebody to explain to me what exactly is a world-class walkover. I know Brian Lara is a world-class batsman. I know Angostura 1824 is a world-class rum. I know that Rowley is a world-class jackass. I know that. But Archie, please explain to me, what exactly is a world-class walkover? And while you're in the mood to explain, please explain to me this behavior by Faris. I can't understand it. I don't know if all of them liming together, Faris, Amory, Keith Scotland, Minister Mann, Ecliffe, Eli, come in, but I don't know if all of them liming together. But Faris, Johnny Sukaran, explain your brother this one, run it.
Hi everyone, here with Carrie Ann, here with Alexandra.
The girl's real pretty, but my power is giving this kind of vibe.
Girl, I can't help you with that one, girl. Senanan say 450 million now set aside for road repair works. This is the PNM corruption. When I tell you, they create an emergency so that they could spend money without procurement, increase, inflate budgets to hand out to their friend and family without procurement, with glitches, without procurement legislation. So they let your roads collapse to the point that landslide, road collapsing, sinkhole, man nearly disappear into a hole and end up in Australia. That's what they do. And then Rohan coming out, 450 million to fix road. Now I ask you, is it more expensive to rebuild roads or to maintain roads constantly? Yes, it's more expensive to rebuild, but that's not wastage. You know what's wastage? Allowing you a gas subsidy so that you could drive your car, keep your family safe, take them to extracurricular activities, keep food price inflation down, medicine price inflation down. That's wastage. But letting your roads shatter throughout the country and then coming in to swoop in with billions of dollars to give their contractor friend and them, that's not wastage. No, man. WASA gets green light for restructuring. Green light to fire 2,500 earlier. Kamla Prasad Bisasa in the budget bust that mark on them. 2,500, and the minister man come out in his specially measured Ecliffe Eli inseam suit talking with boy, when your wife catch you in the bathroom, so you must come out and behave yourself, boy. You coming out talking big and bad, Mr. Ecliffe? 2,500 WASA workers to go. He come and say, no, they're not going. If all you could believe a PNM, well, I glad for all you. Now, check this minister man. Let me tell you something. TV6, you all have no shame. Ministers just hijack all your show. Come on. And this man sit down there bullying and arguing with a lady who's trying to make a point. Minister man, you could see a natural inclination and instinct to interrupt and bully a woman on TV. You know who's do that? Not normal men. Men like you, bathroom sports. Run it and show them.
Communities all across Trinidad.
The two ladies have raised their fingers, and I don't want to get myself in trouble. I'm already in trouble with them already. Diane, had it very quickly, please.
So I want to ask, why do we have all these vulnerable people in society?
We will always have vulnerable.
Let me ask my question.
Where in the world we don't have vulnerable? But where in the world we don't have vulnerable?
But to that extent,
the function of a government. No. The function of a government.
Created it to keep
We have
these
consciously
people down,
done it.
and we now have about 10,000 more
This
based on the results of
absolute
SEO.
nonsense.
Let me finish.
That is nonsense.
And to come tonight,
How can
I
you
have
say that
to
the
tell you, I
government
did not
created
know
vulnerability?
These ladies had such a pull. You had all these ministers on your show, and we had more outside that didn't get to come inside. So you're going to have a ladies' night out with the public getting to come and speak without all the protection measures that came in place tonight to politically cloud the story of a lousy,
there are
wicked
people,
budget
there are
presented
people,
to our people.
you see, there are people like Diane.
Marvin, I love you still.
I love you
but
a
let's
lot. I love you a
do
lot.
this.
But you see, people like Diane, they, as far as they are concerned, they don't want to hear nothing good happening in this country.
That's not
because
true.
it is not in alignment with their philosophy. There are good things there, and we're fixing it.
VAT for the people who get tax relief, lousy and wicked.
Dr. Archie,
Come on.
wait, I want to say one.
And if we don't do it, we're wicked. No, we are fixing people's problem. They say, no, Marvin, we'll move to Diane.
I just want
I'm going to find a new
Could you allow Dr. Arts to
I just want to ask one question. It's provocative. I warn you.
I like the way you're looking at Marvin.
Yes, both.
Minister, man, that is your behavior and your conduct. Your mother never teach you about manners, shouting down and telling the woman about nonsense. You cross, but one thing though, you cross your leg better than she, boy. Hey, you spit down comfortable there. Diane cross your leg nice, but your own fit perfect, boy. Hey, Minister, man, that's why Anita Haynes destroy you, because the UNC, they even banned me from attacking you because now I taking advantage of a softer man and I don't like to bully. So let me hush and let Anita Haynes deal with you off the back foot. Come in, MP Haynes.
You cannot talk about connectivity and connecting communities when communities are being cut off by landslips across this country. You cannot talk about connectivity and national development and Vision 2030 when communities do not have pipe-borne water still, and the Minister for Public Utilities had the time to recite an entire poem. Imagine that. Communities still do not have pipe-borne water, but the minister responsible for WASA had time to kick in Parliament today. Imagine. And the Minister of Public Utilities could have said that.
Well, I was wondering if you asked him a question.
No, I didn't. And he could have utilized his speaking time instead of doing the poem to say whatever he's saying across the floor now. No, you just talk. No, I'm not giving way, you just talk. No, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I am not giving way. Okay, the minister can write a press release because he misused his parliamentary time here today. That's not my fault. That is not my fault. You see, when people hand you notes and tell you say this, sometimes you must say no. You would have had time to go through why certain communities have no water instead of regaling us with a poem. We didn't need it. Okay?
Anita Haynes. And Minister, man, you're carrying your behavior in the Parliament, boy. You're just obnoxious right through. Boy, sit down and hush your mouth, boy. Look, the citizens, one by one across the board, the citizens have just woken up to the realization that the cabinet is the most dishonest, from Keith Rowley lying email gate defended by Small Pin, his lawyer, to defend the email gate, which was not emails, attacking and lying on a sitting government and calling a motion of no confidence and wasting parliamentary time, into the entire episode as cabinet ministers, dishonest, corrupt, thieving, wicked, heartless. The whole country know. Listen to Orlando Octave. Listen to the artists. Listen to the people. Run it.
Yeah, blessed Trinidad and Tobago. I really want to see if we go in and sit down and allow this government of Trinidad and Tobago to continue to milk the public, to hold the public ransom. I want to see if we really go in and sit down and accept this one. Gas prices raise again, food raise again. I want to see if we really go in and take this, boy. We was really slaves, boy. This is slave mentality. To accept that, the majority, it come like when the slave masters them on the plantation and there's a few of them and plenty slaves and they so have a fear. We really going to accept this? Really, boy? We really not putting politics aside and race and religion aside and realize that these people milking us over and over, holding the public ransom. Boy, I don't know. Here I tell it, boy. More time I just feel like, boy, God no, boy. When?
Exactly. And my doubles man was having a little political discussion with him, and he said, boy, Anil, if when we vote in, half of we is African, and the next half is Indian, where the Trinbagonian? All of us are Trinbagonians. This PNM racist politics that was injected by Dr. Eric Williams back in 1956 into 61 when he made his Massa Day speech in Woodford Square because a so-called white man from The Guardian had joined the opposition. And Williams injected race and told Massa Day done, black people must stick behind the PNM. Really? But the PNM stick behind all you. They stick all you in the back. And Orlando Octave said, forget race, forget religion, forget anything. Read a paper. If you like children, then you vote Kamla because Kamla saved children's lives. Kamla give laptop. Kamla build 106 school. Kamla increase school feeding. Kamla give baby grant. Kamla give gate up to 59,000 children. Kamla build MIC, NESC. Kamla put me in sport and 89 grounds. Aquatic center, cycling velodrome, coaches, employment, sports science, sports tourism. If you like culture, Kamla give $1 million prize for Calypso, $2 million for soca, for groovy soca. Pan in school, Pan went up in grants. If you like anything you take, if you like your road smooth, Kamla had Suraj Rambachan, had Jack Warner, road smooth. So election not about race, not about religion, it's about who's serving you. Kamla left the fuel subsidy because Kamla said that belong to you. Once you born here, the gas belong to you, the oil belong to you, the resources is for you. Raouli said no, the resources is for him, for Colmimbat, for the recusals, for his cabinet. All your non-productive spending money on you is non-productive and you vote for that? Please help me understand. You vote for a man who said that the money, the taxpayers' revenue is not for you. It is for him to spend as he sees fit with his discretionary spend. NGC hoping for national gas stability, really? But your little small pin went and lie on skinny plate on CNN and say we have a good life and we have so much gas, we looking to help out Europe and thing. And all you now come NGC, Mr. Lukwan, you still there after you spent $233 million down the toilet behind Atlantic Train 1, which everybody told you was dead, and then all you're asking for indemnity. Now you come to say you hoping for gas stability. Gas production has gone down. We are in a total mess. Our economy has no hope. The only hope is Putin and the war. That is Colmimbat financial diversification plan for Trinidad and Tobago that Putin keep invading Ukraine. HSF declines to 4.78 billion. HSF is your savings for your children and your future. When Kamla Prasad-Bissesa left in 2015 September, the HSF stood at 7.6 billion US. It is now 4.78 billion as printed in the Express Business, page 7. But here what's going on in Guyana, that Rowley wanted a bad talk, that Rowley sent, and they're having a commission of inquiry into that election and who was over there. Rowley sent Gatsby Dolly, best friend from SAGS, Narcissus Scope over there, Andrew Gabriel over in Guyana during the debacle that took place with the other party that the PNM was supporting, trying to steal the election. But they have a commission of inquiry. But look what the IMF say. Near 60% growth for Guyana. And we in negative growth, Colmimba trying to make all our we short like he, that little short Dwayne Klong. Now, listen to this video from Keith Christopher Rowley. Because he could do what he want. He could take from you all what Kamla was giving the people, all the grants for differently able. Rowley and Imbert are even attacking the social grants, talking about $5 billion. When 4.6 billion of that is pension. Kamla raised pension twice because she respects the elderly, those who had worked all their life to bring Trinidad and Tobago to where we are. The PNM says people who work a day, Shamfa Kujo and all of them attacking pensioners, Colmimba attacking pensioners, Rowley going up in Mount Hope to attack pensioners, talking about social grant. That's pension. That's our elderly, they need that little pittance to survive. Them PNM attacking that. And then Rowley say, well, all you could save gas. Choose when you drive. Listen to me very carefully, you know. This is the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister, the position of Prime Minister in the Westminster system is the most powerful position in global politics. A Prime Minister in the first past the post gets to control every single resource, revenue intake, tax intakes, expenditure, puts the ministers, puts the boards. The Prime Minister is more powerful a position than the President of the United States of America. And look what some of you voted for. This person is supposed to be among the best of the best to represent us. The creme de la creme. Great character, great family man, great intelligence, creativity, heart and soul, brilliance, love for people. That's what should be in a Prime Minister. Hear this bloody idiot. Hear it.
A simple choice like choosing when you travel could save your fuel bill. If you get in that traffic at a particular hour for no good reason and crawling to Port of Spain from Sandy Grande, you have burnt up fuel that if you had chosen to go at a different time, you wouldn't have had to burn up. But nobody thinks about the cost of fuel when they plan a trip in Trinidad and Tobago.
Archie, I want you to rewind that a little bit and play that again, you know. This bloody idiot does not even understand that people have to reach their work on time. And once you're in traffic, you have to go in the traffic because you have to try to reach the work on time. And if you reach the work late, you could jeopardize your contract, your job employment, you could get letters. This man just so, the man does not even understand traffic. No, I want you to listen. This is in the parliament, that backdrop behind him is in the parliament, you know. He is talking to the media after a 4-hour budget that his Dwayne delivered, you know. And this man is suggesting that you, the people, are dotish because you choose to crawl into town. So don't, if you're from Grande, don't wake up 4 o'clock to bathe and think, but you don't even have water, so under the PNM to go by the standpipe and fill your bucket. And if you have water, the bucket, the water brung like Rowley tutu suit that he do an interview in. But listen to this fool. No joke. Listen to this complete idiot who's in charge of all your money, in charge of your future, in charge of your policy, in charge of decisions on how much you pay for gas, how much you pay for bread, how much you pay in the grocery, how much you pay for medicine, how long you stay in traffic, what road you drive on, how much your children can get, what education opportunities, how much sport allocate. This man in charge, this blooming idiot plate.
A simple choice like choosing when you travel could save your fuel bill. If you get in that traffic at a particular hour for no good reason and crawling to Port of Spain from San Grande, you have burnt up fuel that if you had chosen to go at a different time, you wouldn't have had to burn up. But nobody thinks about the cost of fuel when they plan a trip in Trinidad and Tobago.
When you plan a trip, going to work, traffic, rush hour traffic. So school does start. So my children, school starting 7:45. So I could just choose, hey boy, I ain't feel to go in traffic today. And I a girl, sit down there, eat your cereal. We are going to school for 10:30. Yeah, because I feel it wouldn't have no traffic, so I could save my gas. Oh, let me send you a letter. Dear Miss Principal, I decided that I didn't want to burn gas this morning. So my daughter Anaya is late for school. We know that school begins at 7:45, but we decided to come at 10:30 because we didn't want to burn gas. Thank you very much. Please forgive her. That is the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Think about that, And then this man went on a platform after Parliament. He couldn't even sit down in Parliament. He reached late for Parliament. He walk in like the banker, have him swaying to the left. He sit down in the chair and easy for 8 minutes, then get up and disappear for hours. I don't know if he went by One Woodbrook. I hear the special branch man saving gas because he's staying in One Woodbrook. He ain't had to go up the road, but he's saving gas. So I suppose that is for everybody to do now. And then he go on a platform, on a PNM platform, and Keith Christopher Rowley is telling you, the people, that the fuel subsidies are waste. That the fuel subsidy that allows you to have cheaper fuel, that it is unproductive spending. The fuel subsidy that allows businesses to fill their trucks with diesel so that they can deliver goods throughout the country and keep the cost of transportation down, therefore giving you cheaper products. Rowley said that is not productive spending. And he went on to calculate and say, but Kamla Bisesa spent $12 billion on fuel subsidy. That is an irresponsible woman. That is a ridiculous woman. That is a wasteful woman. The fuel subsidy is for you. You, the people, each and every one of you, whether you have a car or not. Because maxi price, bus price, everything down, food price, medicine price, everything down. Kamla Bisesa, as a prime minister with a heart, said that is more important. That is efficient spending. That is sharing the resources. The Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago in the preamble says the resources of the country must be shared and divided equally, and everyone must have an opportunity to benefit from the resources. So Kamla Bisesa was upholding and living the Constitution by paying for and keeping and leaving the subsidy when people were telling her, ma'am, if you want to spend money, how you want to spend it, you gotta cut that. In comes Rowley, the heartless, selfish, recusal, most corrupt prime minister in the history of the Caribbean, who puts a web of corruption and a web of control over your money. Noel Garcia in charge of every spend to build thing. Newman George and his brethren, his neighbors in Inez Gate in Tobago, in interlocking directorships. This Ingrid Lashley that called fire bigging up on 9 different boards. Eustace Nancis on 7 board. All of them is AA Kwame on 5 board. Rowley personal attorney in charge of heritage to not listen to Deborah Peak Senior Counsel to appeal the case into Rowley friend $100 million investigation. That is the man you all put. But you all elect that man. Since 1969, he's a teacher who used his position of responsibility to get pum-pum from a girl of school age. Let me ask each and every one of you, especially all your PNM voters, all your fathers, because I have a father, 2 daughters. If a teacher have sex with your child, what you would do? Elect him prime minister? No, it's a very serious flipping question I'm asking all you. Not you people who vote Kamla. I'm not talking to all you. The ones who dip their finger for Keith Rowley to be prime minister. Gart Allen, his son that he claimed only when he was 44 years. Go and check all the website. He only had the inside children. He didn't have that. Gart Allen, his mother was of school age when Rowley impregnated and he was a teacher. So I'm asking you like I asked myself, if that were my daughter, what would you do? Certainly not elect that scumbucket as prime minister. But then he comes forward, and between 1991 and 95 and so on moving forward into 2000s, gravel roll somewhere from a hospital by he. All they never hear about Landate, go and read the Commission of Inquiry, read the report. Then you could talk about Renaissance, Greenville. You could talk about Calder Hart and who didn't get contract. You could talk about come forward to the lies he put on Manning. And when he said that he worked beyond Manning. And y'all cheered when he said, the last time somebody put me out of somewhere, you see what happened to them? And Manning suffered a stroke. And Brian Manning, boy, after I heard you talk, I called my son who's in his last year of law school. And I say, son, if your father ever pass and you have to make a speech or you get an award or you're in parliament or something, if you're unable to speak, son, if you don't think that you could deliver well, if your brain is not sharp enough to deliver your message clearly, son, please shut your mouth. Son, don't do me that. Even if I'm dead and gone and all your bun men open fire, don't do me that. Because you're my son. You come from my testicles. You have my DNA. If your father could talk and bring out points like that, oh Lord, son. If you can't talk, shh. Brian Manning, you embarrass your father. Patrick Manning was a brilliant orator. Patrick Manning will come with one little piece of paper like this and talk for an hour and 15 minutes. Wax poetic. Hit picong. Hit good points. Analyze. Brilliant. Brian Manning, you're the biggest clown. I don't know.
I want to tell you something.
Worse. Listen to this.
I'm from Mason Hall in Tobago.
Yes, play it.
Mason Hall very close to Liquor 2. The last time I was put out of anywhere for anything, the person who put me out regretted it. Remember I was in the cabinet? I took issue over the behavior of Calder Hart and UDCOP. And what happened to me? I was put out of the cabinet. The person who put me out regretted it.
And you all cheered PNM. Yeah! A man boasting about necromancy, about obia, about evil, about voodoo, about pouring spirit lash on a human being. And you PNM balling, yeah! I am not the most spiritual man. I believe. I have belief and faith. But I'm not the most religious. Going down to the doctrine and so on, some of my colleagues are. But I now understand why the PNM is in the state and the cult that it is. Because clearly once you're wearing red, that's why I claim back red today for Trinidad and Tobago. Once you're wearing red and the Balize symbol now, it means that you celebrate, you vote and you support for the evil arts, necromancy, voodoo and obia. It means that all you're dabbling in that. So you have given up your hope and faith in Christianity, in religion, in piousness, in belief of the Supreme Being, because a man who boasted about dabbling and putting spirit lash from Lekoto, Obia on a man and give him a stroke. You all support that. So I now understand why fuel price don't bother PNM supporters. Gate cutting don't bother all you. Bad road don't bother all you. Economy shattered. No jobs don't bother all you. Because you all have sold out to that man who tell all you. So you all Balize people, you all into that. Okay, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? That's what you all vote for. All you Christian people who vote PNM, all you give up that. All you give up your Lord and Savior. All you give up all the good book. All you give up, Bob Marley say, you have to fulfill the book. You heard that, man, and you all vote for that. And to Brian Manning, boy, if I ever produce a son and forget to give him balls, I will never sit and sleep easy. A man say that about your father, and you go on licking that man Bamsi, boy, oh Lord, boy. Brian Manning died, why they leave you out the picture? Because the picture you needed to have cajones, boy. They say no cajones, no picture, boy, Brian Manning. A man say that about your father. So Rowley says, and he asks you, and so I will ask you all. Rowley says that the subsidy for you to put gas in your car, your family car, your trucks, to get cheaper food, keep food price, vegetable, keep food price down, keep medicine price down. That's unproductive spending. Where would you prefer to be spent? Rowley asked all of that, you know. And them stupid people, PNM, well, them clap for necromancy and obia. So them go clap for anything. But I'm asking you all out there, not the UNC, not people who understand what Rowley is. You who dipped your finger for Rowley. Ask yourself this question. Would you prefer the money to be spent on the fuel subsidy where every single citizen from baby to elderly could benefit? Or you want it where the cabinet ministers could sit down, recuse themselves, and hand out contract here, there, and the other with 210 heading to 500 recusals? Which one you prefer? You voting against yourself? Because listen to him, Archie, run that clown.
This one is that.
No, not he. You didn't have a video on Rowley? Rowley and the subsidy from down in his political meeting. If you don't have it, well, we go. If you have it, you could run it. But then, Rowley also lied in that meeting publicly. He tried to blame the RIC. The RIC, your electricity and water rates going to go up. You have it? Run it, man. Yeah, man.
Electricity is subsidized. So your costs are among the lowest in the world and the lowest in the hemisphere. Your hospital care is subsidized. You will tell me, well, I pay health surcharge. Go and take a look at the cost of one of the medicines in any health center and tell me how much of your health surcharge to pay for that. People are getting service in the hospitals that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for free. Your health surcharge is $240. So don't even raise that. Ask Americans about healthcare and healthcare costs. Ask them. Your water is subsidized. your children and your education subsidized. So when you go to the IMF public servants will love to meet you because it is the easiest job they will ever get if this country ever gets to the IMF. You go into the IMF to tell the IMF, well, our budget is in some difficulty. We are in financial difficulty with debt. We need your help. But we really have a $5 billion program, a social program home, giving help to how many 100,000 people. And we really have gas at the lowest, LPG, in every household that wants it. $300 million in subsidy so that you can have a 20-pound tank for whatever price you pay. That's a quarter of the price. You go into Tobago as often as you would like. You're paying $150, but it costs $400 or $500. The subsidy is $200 million. You go to the IMF and let the IMF have to come to you to meet that and see how it will be fixed. So when we said, we look at the whole spectrum of subsidies and so on, and we know we have to reduce that subsidy component because that is where we can actually save ourselves to not have to go to the IMF. And we said we will reduce the subsidy over time. So you hear somebody saying no on television, frothing at the mouth, they raised the price of gas 7 times. That might be true. Between 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, the government spent $20 billion subsidizing fuel. Let me ask you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago tonight, was that the best way to spend $20 billion?
Answer. Kamla spent 20 billion of your dollars, not his dollars, not his cabinet dollars, not his rental for Faris, not his loans and $5 billion work for small pin and his family. No, your money. Because listen carefully, the IMF is not here for election, you know. This is the Coleman but Rowley thing. They concoct an argument, create a hellacious fallacy, and then debate that. There is a decision for you to make. There is that you saw there, the arrogance, the belief that your money is his money. It's amazing that he has that job because you all voted for him. I'm not speaking to those who voted against him. I'm speaking to those who voted for him. He has that job because you chose him. And he stands there to tell you that you voted him, to tell you that all the things that you are born, your birthright, that you are here as a citizen, he is taking away because he wants to have discretionary spend for his recusals and his contracts, for his contractors. And you voted for that. Why? Because he's black? Because he's black? Because he's an African? That's why you voted for him? Explain it to me, please. Explain to the black half of me. Forget the Indian half. Forget my mother. Explain to the Tobagonian half of me that you vote for him because he's black. On the other hand, you have Kamla. He is criticizing, ridiculing, denigrating Kamla Prasad Bisesa for spending $20 billion, not on herself, not on her ministers, not on financiers, not on contractors, not on anything, but on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the 1.4 million of you. This man is standing up there attacking Kamla for spending money on you. I cannot make this up. The fuel subsidy puts the resources, when you have that birth paper saying Trinidad and Tobago and you have that passport. Kamla Prasad Bisesa said it on many occasions as the same economists and financial managers and public servants came to her and said, ma'am, cut that fuel subsidy So you will have more money that you could decide if you want to build highway, if you want to build another hospital or whatever. Also, what Rowley failed to tell you is that would Kamla Prasad Bisesa paying that subsidy for you and leaving it there, she also built 106 schools and had gate with Fazal Karim up at 726, built 26 million MIC, NESE centers. She had grants, she had pension, she didn't cry, she raised, she negotiated wage negotiations and all of that because she focused on the people. This man is standing there telling you that the money that you all have, that you all are born, it's not yours, it's for him. It's for Al-Rawi, it's for Small Pin father, Small Pin brother, for Rohan Sinanan, for Colmin Butt. It's for them. But the hurtful thing is you all vote for that. Why? Because Dr. Williams say if you're black, you have to vote for that. Dr. Williams dead. It's all you're getting cuff and kick all in your K-packs and you're voting for that. Why? And when you vote for that, look at what you vote for. Look at Rowley's best friend. Look at him. Rowley defended him and said, of course I will call him. Even though I'm the Prime Minister, even though I'm in charge of the National Security Council, even though I'm in charge of Petroltrin, who brought the audit against this man, I will call him. I will eventually put my lawyer, I will shut down Petroltrin, even though no expert said shut down Petroltrin. Rowley comes to talk in that same meeting about an $850 million bullet payment that was crippling Petroltrin. That's the Malcolm Jones PNM money that still has not been paid. But he and Al-Rawi and Stuart Young took Malcolm Jones out of court, that Anand Ramlogan and Kamla were going after him to get back your money. Rowley took him out of court and put him in charge and on the energy committee, and you all sit there and the media sits there and you all say that's okay. And look at this one, because Rowley is the Prime Minister. Look at Rowley's friend. All you start to worry about a counselor who is a black woman using the N-word. All you don't even know the rules of the N-word. But look, all you didn't care that this Rowley, A.A. Kwamina, Rowley personal attorney, ignored the advice of senior counsel and went against the advice and settled to give this man 118 million. The police chooses police commissioner. The commissioner of police now ain't talking about the investigation. Gary Griffith had said that the last part of the investigation needed an expert to corroborate to move forward, but they needed money. Did this commissioner of police elected by Rowley and Paula Weeks and Bliss Prasad by breaching the constitution and misbehaving in public office, is he still negotiating? So this man, Rowley friend, dancing and celebrating. Let's see him dance because Rowley is in charge. Go ahead.
This one is that. This is for Dr. Keith Rowley and the youthful and impeccable Scott. We call it. I'm celebrating PNM celebration now. So I just give my love it. Just give my love you, boy. If you're not here, well, you might not be my wife. And Rowley, you doing it. I'm not going to know this. Keep going, Rowley. Yeah. I love what you like. Come down, boy. And when they come out to celebrate the flying of the PNM candidates and our PNM people. What do you come like this? Study by what? What key? What nonsense? Oh, it's been the out of the mind. But now, who do you want to win? Study by him. Ready to PNM. Ready to PNM.
And in the meeting, in PNM meeting, Rowley, who now saying nobody here want the refinery, is Wade Mark, Busty Mark, that is some skull, some corrupt. They were bringing 2 electrical engineers and the PNM and Small Pin, all of them come out, call me, but come out and say due diligence. And Wade Mark say, but what madness are they talking about? They have no assets, they have no money, they've done nothing, they have no track record. Now them disappear. Quietly, and the media say, okay, so where, if it was such a great company coming for the refinery, the whole country not interested, where this great company gone and the refinery still shut? But Rowley talk drop out his mouth. All you go and listen to it. Rowley say, well, they have one person interested in the refinery, but we wouldn't talk that now. Rowley, actually just play back that video. If it's one person interested in the refinery, boy. Rowley, I wonder, boy. Let me just see back that video there. Let me see Mr. Bareback, nasty, disgusting mouth, Rowley best friend.
This one is that. This is the petite Rowley. And the youthful and impeccable Scotland, we call it. I'm celebrating the PNM celebration now. So I just give my love it. Just give my love, give my.
Movie now, movie now, waste of time. That is Rowley friend. All you elect that. And now you want to suffer 118 million. Plus the next 218 million. Plus how much in legal fees are 50 million. Plus 10 years going forward. And Rowley come and say, fuel for you to squeeze and put in your car to take your children to school and pick them up. That is not productive. That is wasteful expenditure. But expending on bareback whiner boy, that normal thing. Y'all voted for that. Protective Services Association not hopeful after budget. Union leader, nothing in budget for firefighters. All of you, there's a choice. Are you all going to say, firefighters, we've historically voted PNM? The fire service is 72% African, so let's vote PNM. Who cares? The fire service is 100% Trinbagonian. My doubles man to ask all you, why we is African and Indian for election? We is not that. African in Africa, Indian in India. We is Trinbagonians, and the oil and gas belong to us. And Kamla says it belongs to you. Kamla settles wage negotiation. Kamla leaves fuel subsidy. Kamla creates employment. Vote Kamla, union leader, firemen, protective services. But wait, Defense Force takes 4%. Over the last 5-6 years, I've showed you that the head of the defense staff has been a PNM puppet. Remember when to pretend that the borders were being patrolled, even though I going out fishing every week, every 2 weeks, and showing all your video after video of 14 vessels parked up there, no diesel. They could not even move. The borders opened during a pandemic. I showed you all that. Remember, a defense force man come out and work out that 1,000 hours, 15th a week. Remember that? He's so balisé up that he find 1,000 hours in a week. Where the investigation into the baby, Venezuelan baby who get his head blown off by our Coast Guard, unarmed migrants. Nothing. But look, Defense Force take 4%. To all the members of the Defense Force, all your man in charge is a flipping PNM and sell all you out. All you're going to vote PNM, why? Because 82% of the Defense Force is black. All of we is Trinbagonian. 100% of Defense Force is Trinbagonian. No black and no Indian and no Syrian and no Chinese and no douglAR, no nothing. Trinbagonian. So your PNM head going to play games with Coleman, but while he knock glass and go national awards, yes, and eat scones with Paula May and sell all you out for 4%, what 4% going and do for all you? Especially my Defense Force fellas, all you know, all you are 2 girls, 3 girls, and what are you going to do? What you going to do? You have to give up 1 or 2. What plans are in store for Petroltrin, right? What video is this I wanted, boy? Who get catch Stephen there, Archie? You have that? What plans are in store for Petroltrin? There are no plans from Rowley. Let me move on. HDC's distressing failure, says the Express. Really? HDC, PNM, HDC, distressing failure? Let me read. In the year between budget 2022 and 2023, The waiting list of applicants for state housing has grown from 175,000 to 191,000. Still, in delivering Monday's budget, Finance Minister Imbut listed an impressive 4,442 housing units, almost all of which were in various stages of non-delivery. Some of non-delivery. Some are under construction, some are envisaged to be under construction, and some are planned for construction, and some are being advanced, and the rest are being built. Exactly how many were actually delivered was a boast Minister Imbut could not make, because the PNM is incompetent. Under Rudal Munilal and Jolene John, them was building 5,000 houses per year, handing out 100 keys per week. But why vote? What houses? Because the list was high and you had to move and people need it. So Jolene John, Munilal, bill, hand out, give people thing. PNM, no. Let we only bill when election come in. Let we go on pad St. Joseph because Convent girl need help, because Kamla sending the douglAR in St. Joseph. You could pad how much you want. I will beat Convent girl with his stay free maxi pad on. I will beat him left, beat him right, because he does not like people. He's a complete dunce, and he has overseen the healthcare system that has suffered people. He's the worst MP in St. Joseph. So that licking will be finger licking like Royal Castle, because I don't eat KFC because I PNM and Mute. As we say that, oh, they may send this. It looks like Archie, they realize that Convent girl mightn't be able with the douglAR. So they look to be sending this one here. Oh yes, Abdul Richards, are you coming to St. Joseph? Please come and join the fray. Because you're head medical and you're selling us rum. I like White Oak and so on, And you're on all the PNM boards. So you're on 4 PNM boards. You're wearing your mask. Oh, you got a national award. So I will be going up. Well, Olympic coach, world record holder, Olympic bronze medal, 2 world championship bronze medal, coach of the year twice, national coach for 30 years, former national swimmer, national under-19 footballer. But me ain't get no national award because me ain't no PNM. But so I will be going up against a national award winner, Abdul Richards. Do you know I went to school with Mark Richards? You know who is Mark Richards? Well, you come in the race, girl. You come in St. Joseph because you have no shame and you gone to skin up with them PNM. Check that, watch that. Mayor Martinez, who laughed at his niece, a little baby that he held in his arms as she was a victim of revenge porn. That is Joel Martinez. Skin in the plate, looking like similar to the Minister Man and Faris. I don't know what's going on in the PNM. And look, the next stupid PNM, Haddad, a billionaire who take a salary while poor people cannot get money in football. And that's what you all vote. Move this thing now. That's what you all vote for. Nurses, appreciative of 210 million bonus. Well, I guess you have to be appreciative. But I think this kind of biscuits here, Archie, is worth more than a day of the bonus that the PNM giving the nurses as they put on their clothes, their mask, and they left their families to risk their lives in the height of a pandemic where we had the highest death rate in the world. These nurses went out every day and stress themselves out. Some of them get locked down into facilities in Debe and so on for 2 weeks. They have to take their own money and buy snacks. And the PNM comes to give 20,000 healthcare workers $14.58 per day that they work in the pandemic. $437.50 per month. $437.50. And the gas that they now have to pay for in the car, if they get a drop or if the maxi fares and things go up, they have to pay $700 a month. But the PNM give them and say, yes, thank you for risking your life. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you, even in the midst of stupidity and poor management, mismanagement, and Roshan Parasram being, oh good, he get award too. Nurses, if Kamla was there, don't you think you would have been rewarded from the heart for your sacrifice? Not these clowns who went in president's house to drink champagne and eat scones. I want to say, my brother Iowa boy, well done Iowa. All right? I see you saying thank you for your national award and thing. Iowa, you're a PNM, but I is your brother. And Iowa, for the years, the decades of great soca, I believe you deserve your national award. And I say, congratulations to you, Neil Iowa George. But I have to ask you the question. You are deserving of your award, like Marshall and some others. How do you feel that the awards have now become tainted with Balize politics? That a doctor who oversaw the deaths of 4,240 citizens, the highest death rate in the world, 92% death rate in the ICU, the total collapse of the healthcare system, the shattering of the economy, porous borders and every variant known to man, low vaccination up to now, only 51.3%, no education, a super spreader and putting forward a prime minister's opinion without science, open fire discrimination against East Indians and the Hindu community, a man who held up the worst COVID-19 fight in history, or in the entire globe. He gets an award because PNM is trying to say, we're number one in the world. How do you feel, Iowa? That you deserve your award. But the awards ceremony and the awards that you have gone to now because of Rowley and Paula May has become a Balize House award. Well, Iowa, good for you. Just rewards. Well, you know, when the Guardian agree with an award, you know it's Balize Awards. This entire editorial saying just desserts, you know. Roshan Parasram and them, Abdul Richards and them, you know. This is the newspaper, and some of you all buy the Guardian. 4,240 citizens dead, and we still dead in. 3 dead yesterday. COVID-19 still ravaging. They throw away 400,000 vaccination. They didn't take vaccination from Modi from India, and they lie on Barbados. They came here and they didn't get Pfizer. They tell we take Siao. All the people who thought they were safe with Siao, of those who dead with 2 vaccinations, who were fully vaccinated, is Siao that them tell you how to take. Old people was in the rain, storm, going for vaccination when they were none. All of that went on. All you don't remember? And the PNM says, this was brilliant. This was amazing. Let us give the man who was in charge of that stupidity the Order of Merit of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and the guardian of Rowley's K-Pax, the guardian of the PNM. You see, when these media, if you are hearing and understanding the facts, but then reading what they're telling you, you see why the masses will still make a mistake and dip their finger for stupidity because of newspapers like this. Watch this. Anybody who does drive on the road, anybody who own a car, vote Kamla. Not only for the fuel subsidy, because Kamla will never and has never and will never ever dream of letting your roads look like this. This is the norm. Run it. Remember that more, you know, that more. Cedrus, Otahiti, fisher folk in despair over fuel hike. Watch that road. Watch this road. If you are a driver, if you spend money on your car, if you have insurance on your car, if you like to put nice tires on your car, if your car drop low, if you paint your car, if you clean your car, you cannot vote for Rowley. Never in the history of the country have we had roads like this. And we have no bitumen. Why? Because Rowley closed down the refinery on his own volition. Because he and his partner, he needed somebody tell Rowley, if I go down, you go down, all of we go down. And Rowley ignored the Lashley report, the McKinsey report, the Solomon report. Winfred Espine said the board of Petroltrin never told Rowley to shut it down. Look at your roads. Look at it. All over Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Oh God, move. Nah, I ain't ready for she yet. Move she. Cedrus, Otahiti, fisher folk in despair over fuel hike. If you are a fisherman or fisherwoman, If you are the family of a fisherman or fisherwoman, you have to vote Kamla. Why? Because Kamla left regular gas. Rowley and PNM and the late Franklin Can removed regular gas, and now they increase super by $5 per liter over what Kamla was giving you. So fishermen cannot earn a living. They cannot go where the fish are. Fish are always moving. A fisherman needs to go and find the fish. They cannot find the fish because they cannot afford the gas. And then on top of that now, thieves cart away boat engines at Otahiti Fishing Complex. If you believe in safety and security, if you have fishermen, look, fishermen and all engines gone, home invasions, crime scourge, the highest and worst crime scourge ever. Why? Because Rowley breached the law and misbehaved in public office. And if we had a real commissioner of police, Rowley should be charged and locked up and in handcuffs along with the president and Blissy Prasad for breaching the Constitution, thwarting the merit list, and putting a dunce clown in charge. And now bandits running, killing people in broad daylight, thieving fisherman engine. If you believe in safety and security, how can you vote for the PNM? They read a budget of 4 hours and 12 minutes and spent 2 minutes, Dougie Fresh Yow, 2 minutes on safety and security. Really? 2 minutes? Look at Biden. Biden, sleepy Biden. Look, Archie laughing. Archie won back Trump. Archie's a Republican. I ain't a Democrat and I had to laugh too. Biden looked like he go fall asleep if he talk too long. But Biden and all, sleepy Biden, better than Rowley. Biden says don't raise gas prices. He's warning energy companies with the hurricane landfall, don't do it. Because he cares about people. Outrage as the Prime Minister says Trinidad and Tobago not ready for major work from home policy. I have to rock back and rest with this one. Keith Rowley is the laziest human being on God green earth. Keith Rowley is the laziest Prime Minister on God green earth. Keith Rowley has spent more vacation days in the 7 years that he swore in to be Prime Minister than all Prime Ministers cumulatively. So if you add up the days off that Eric Williams, George Chambers, A.N.R. Robinson, Bastio Pandey, Patrick Manning, and Kamla Prasad Bissessa took, if you add up that cumulatively, all of them, versus how much vacation and golf days Rowley took in 7 years, Rowley win. And that lazy dunce is telling you, forget you who vote UNC, forget y'all. I'm not speaking to y'all. I'm speaking to those who voted for him, because you must have voted for him for some reason. If you like his policy, you feel he go do good, you believe his, whatever it is. Don't tell me only vote for he because he black. Because the last time he was black was when he come out in Mora. Right? As soon as the oxygen hit he turned whiter than the queen. He is an Oreo. I know him very long. You know what black golf course? Ooh, the only golf course thing black was Tiger Woods. Okay? Rowley, Goodwood Park. When they linemen up there, they just call him my N and thing. Why you don't complain about that? All of his policies, the way he speaks down to black people, when he handing out HDC keys, talking to upwardly mobile young people with degrees and big salary. Don't turn here into a ghetto. Don't throw, you don't want to see shoes hanging over the wires. HDC don't even make projects with wires in the air. All the utilities has been underground. That man stuck in the 70s and a sickening chip on his shoulder. There's nothing worse than a black man who not proud to be black, and that is Rowley. So don't tell me you vote for him because he black. Because he and all will tell you he ain't black. He does only say that for all to vote for him to take all your money from you and recuse himself and give it to your brethren them. Rowley says that you're lazy, you incompetent, you dotage, you can't work from home because you can't even work in the office. The editorial of the Newsday, and this Judy Raymond, who Rowley, when he lazy, but he not lazy for that. The horny goat weed does work. When he looking for man, wife and thing, he in the cabinet and are wrong. Right? He's using energy for that. Ask Daryl Smith. Ask Bundles. And ask many of them. Ask Judy Raymond. So this is a Judy Raymond editorial. Home truths or out of touch? What was most jarring about the Prime Minister's off-the-cuff declaration on Monday that this country's public sector is not ready for a major work-from-home policy was that it seems to be completely contradict much of what his finance minister had spent hours outlining. Did Dr. Rowley, who attended the sitting in person, miss these portions of the presentation? Maybe if he had been watching online, he might have been more alert to them. Or was the Prime Minister, who said the budget was Mr. Imbert's best, simply seeking to deliver some home truths to the nation? Elaborating presumably on the issue of discipline, he added, some people not even working in the office. Rowley is discussing discipline. A man who anything passed by he had to give he pum-pum. A man who meet Oliveri, she say, in January 2015. And she was so enamored and blushed, and she become Minister of Energy by September. How? A man who, woman in the office of the Prime Minister go to Tobago and sharing chips with he on camera. That man wife, you know. Okay. PNM's 2020 General Election Manifesto, the party pledged to support working from home as a general principle in both. And you all allow Rowley, that's lazy scumbucket, that clown who does not even understand that you all have to drive to get to work and your children have to go to school at a certain time, and that creates rush hour traffic. He blame all you for not just going late. That clown is calling you all who voted for him lazy, that you indisciplined, you don't even work in the office, and you all voted for him. So you all vote for abuse. You all, the electorate is what? Domestically abused electorate by Rowley? Look at this. I don't know if this next video true, but I know that I've been telling you all, character-wise, Rowley is a total scumbucket from a teacher who had to use his power to get pum-pum from a girl of school age, to using his power position as a prime minister to get pum-pum from junior ministers in the cabinet. Wife, Rowley is a scumbucket from women in function sitting down next to him, and they feel like they have to go and bathe because he's a sicko. I have told you all that he's a liar. He lie on Emailgate. He's lie every time he open his mouth as Trubal Chavez. I have told you all that. I have told you all he's low character. I told you thousands of examples. I don't know if this example is true, but listen to this, citizen. Run it.
Now, I know I'm going to get some haters by sharing my experience, but I'm still going to share it anyway. Several years ago, I used to waitress at a restaurant, and I'd call it the name of the restaurant, but a co-worker and I had the opportunity to serve the Honorable Mr. Keith Rowley and his friends. At the ending of the service, one of his friends left a tip on the table, and on leaving, all the Honorable Keith Rowley pick up the tip from off the table and give it back to the guy. I was like, what? A few years later, I had the opportunity as a supervisor to supervise at another restaurant, to supervise Mrs. Bisessa and her friends at a restaurant. And at the ending of the service, she called one of her friends and tipped every worker in the restaurant $200 and $300 each, down to the kitchen staff. So y'all be the judge of that now.
You all be the judge of that. Another one. You have to realize that all of these ministers, all of the PNM now, they follow the leader. A leader, a powerful prime minister, the position of prime minister is so powerful that it makes Christian people clap for obia, clap for the dark arts, for necromancy. PNM people, it makes the power of the position of Prime Minister when he's attacking a woman who is a victim of revenge porn. The mayor of Port of Spain, who is so beholden to Rowley for his position, he claps. When he held that little baby as a little girl, a little baby, he claps and laughs at Rowley ridiculing a woman who's a victim of revenge porn. That's how powerful the position of Prime Minister is. It turns normal human beings into K-Pax licking idiots. But what's another problem? When you have a Prime Minister, they look for people like themselves. So Rowley is a heartless, don't care about all you, like only money and different hues, lighter hues. So he look for Imbot, he look for Smallpin, he look for Al-Rawi, Johnny Sukaran. He look for them to put in charge. And all the black benchers stay back in the back, down on the ground. But what he also looks for, Rowley, is heartless, callous, and disrespectful. He's a disgusting human being. All of you who have interacted with him know that. Ask the lady who he bounced on with the golf cart in Tobago. He doesn't even have chivalry. So when you hear the ministers talking like that, like this one, Randall Mitchell, remember early on when he was a minister of housing and a lady came to ask him about a house, he stoops on TV. He now talking about World Tourism Day and so on. There's no World Tourism Day in Trinidad and Tobago. It's bullets, it's AR-15, it's death at every corner. What tourism? Who going? Oh yes, I have money to spend. There are 207 sovereign nations out there. Let me see where I could take my family to relax and enjoy. Yes, there. Grenada, Barbados, Dominica, Bahamas. Oh, here's this Trinidad and 6 murders in a day, 12 murders in a day, 16 murders in a day, bullets all around, AR-15 submachine gun. Oh, Pennywise, if I go, yes, let me go there. Rowley, and watch the news there now. Anybody who read that budget would know it's the most ridiculous, dotish budget in the history of budgets. Coleman but outdid himself. He showed that when we thought you could not get dumber, that he got the sequel, Dumb and Dumber. And then here comes the Newsday, sweet and sour. So the budget not just sour. So all you out there who's sour, 90% of the population, only 10% is them PNM contractors and them who are work to get. TTMA, it will boost business, says the Newsday, no? But then I come here and I read what the TTMA says. But Judy Raymond, who get the sweetness from Rowley, she write that the TTMA says the budget was sweet. But I read here, in the very same business day, the Newsday, when you read, you see the headlines, masses, but the douglAR does go and get the details. So the masses see that the Newsday says, sweet, budget has sweetness, it has sugar in it. Hear what the Manufacturers Association really said at Hyatt Regency, Port of Spain. One of the obstacles to doing business is the crime and call for practical and successful solutions, which the budget had none. It had 2 minutes on crime and safety. The escalating crime translate as a disincentive to investment, higher cost to operate, possible brain drain, and other ills in the society. Does that sound like they find the budget sweet or sour? But Newsday say, Judy Raymond say, sweet like Rowley, honey go to eat. And Judy Raymond. Then another one, Amjad Ali said, the executive director of Advanced Foam, highlighted the ease of doing business as one of the areas where the manufacturers were struggling. That's not sweet. Under Kamla, it was 66th in the world. Now it's 109th. That is not sweet. They're saying that it's sour, that Colm has failed, the PNM has failed. But the Newsday tells you on the front page, sweet, says TTMA. The Newsday lie. They continued. Kusal, who is the head of the TTMA, said development of more efficient border agencies, port operation, tax collection, data collection, that is all terrible. She said it needs to be enhanced. 7 years, that is not sweet. That's sour, Judy Raymond. Ali also knocked the Customs and Excise Division under the control and the policy of the PNM for 7 years. That's not sweet, it's sour. He added that the higher priority needed to be placed on trade facilitation, meaning that business and the government would need to take another look at how they think about business operations. Failure, not sweet, sour. Then Arthur Lockjack, former chairman of TT Export Development, said Exim Bank foreign exchange pressure plus VAT refunds. That's not sweet, that's sour. But Judy Raymond and the Express say it's sweet. Another way the media says, they find an analyst who says we are a complacent society. And the Newsday finds an economist who says we are spoiled, to put on the front page to let you know that what the PNM saying, that you who born here, oil and gas is yours, piece of it, that because you are benefiting from your resources, that you all spoil. The Newsday went and scraped the bottom of the barrel and find somebody to agree with Rowley and put that on the front page to give you all the impression that what you feeling and what you saying and what you doing is not true. So go and dip your finger for PNM because it's black versus Indian. And Bankers Association welcomes reduced budget deficit. Really? Energy Chamber welcomes fiscal changes. The Energy Chamber has welcomed measures by Finance Minister to improve the fiscal environment under which the upstream energy sector companies operate. Now, if I didn't tell all you that DAX driver and them is PNM, now understand this. Call me, but in the budget gave no details about any fiscal regime change whatsoever. There has been no change. But the Energy Chamber is so PNM that them applauding changes that do not exist and have not been done. And that's what they print and that's what they do. So they have these institutions that are beneficial. Remember, in the Paria Divers, they wanted a man who was the president of the Energy Chamber, former a client of Stuart Smallpin Young, the Minister of Energy, to be on an investigation committee to investigate Paria Newman George Rowley friend. Remember that? Okay. Big business. Now, this is the most painful budget. Hotel and Tourism Association VP on inter-island fare increases. That's the truth, but they hide that. John Public left feeling sour. John Public, all of you, but do you realize that all of you are the ones who select them, who make you feel sour? Why would you want to choose? So you had two nice ladies who are trying to court you. And one is sweet, showing you love, affection, cooking for you. When you come home, rubbing your shoulders. When you come home, the house clean. She's making sure everything is nice. And then they have a next one who come home and take your wallet one time, take all your money, go and buy eyelash and manicure, go and buy weave, go and take surgery and tie up she belly, take out a rib and come in and then put out the bumsy, so bam, that one. And you go choose that one over the nice, sweet one who cooking and cleaning and loving you up and kissing you up and talking nice, and you're going out on date, you're going movie, and you go choose the sour one. So why all you choose sour? Why all you choose PNM? You see what I'm saying? By the time the show done, everybody who vote PNM go be doing so, but what we really do. TAP, imagine how wicked. TAP unhappy with fees for inter-island ferry service. Everybody who have a granny or grandpa, somebody, must ask themselves, you are the Prime Minister or the Minister of Finance. Food price inflation hitting double digits, 20% year on year. Medicine inflation, CDAP, Hano, drugs, your granny, rentals going up, car move around, checks coming late, pension check. And in all of that, with a fixed little pension, a Prime Minister and his Minister of Finance sit down and they say, boy, them old people gain it too easy. They spoil. Then we make them pay to go to Tobago. Now, if that's not enough for each and every one of you citizens who have a vote to vote them out, I don't know what to tell you. What sort of human being will sit down and make a decision like that, vet it, put it on paper, read it, You read through that before you come to present it, that even when you presented it, you ain't take a pen and scratch out that and say, but that had to be madness. You all had to be sick. Them punishing old people. I want you all to look at this. Look at this little article down here, right? This little headline. If I were to tell you that in this time, this article here is one of the most critical, important articles at this time for the population to really understand the heartlessness, the disgusting attitude, and the terrible government that we have. And what if I told you that this article, the information does not come from a purely independent place? That this place is warped with Balizé juice, with a closeness and an affinity and an affection and a friendship with the Prime Minister and where this came from. But yet, despite that friendship, things so bad that the truth had to come out. This little article on page 5 of the Newsday is the most important article analyzing the budget that you've just heard that has brought the population to pain and suffering. Let me read this for you. But you notice how it's hidden. This should have been a front page of all 3 newspapers. This should have led TV6 and CNC3. This should have been the #1 story. I am not kidding you. I don't even know how many of you all would have seen this way down here. Down here. Look at this little thing. Central Bank. Central Bank Governor is Alvin Hilaire, neighbor to Rowley in Innisgate and Tobago. Alvin Hilaire, who got his job after Coleman but fired Jawala Rambaran and now lost the case against Jawala Rambaran, and you the people had to pay Jawala Rambaran some big set of money. Not Coleman, but he do the wickedness, but you have to pay. So Alvin Hilaire and the Central Bank, who's not UNC and not independent, they have a closeness and neighborly love with Rowley. Hear what comes out, and it's hidden by the newspapers. The effect of the increase in fuel prices announced in the budget is expected to be felt by most of the population as soon as the next quarter, said the central bank in its latest monetary report released on Friday. For now, the country still faces high inflation and a contraction in the energy sector. Central Bank says, small pin young, you lie on quest, you lie in the parliament, you are a liar. Central Bank, a contraction in the energy sector. The central bank, referring to CSO statistics, said there was a marginal decline in real GDP by 0.1% year on year in the first quarter of the year. But Imba just read out a 4-hour thing to tell you about the nominal GDP and how it blast off and it growth and it's the best and all of this. Central bank, not friendly to the UNC, friendly to Rowley. But the truth is the truth, and they can't hide it because the numbers don't lie and the maths not mathsing. The energy sector also contracted by 5.1%. Even with war and global prices up because of the mismanagement of Rowley and Small Pin, because of the lower gas production, because of the no tax regime and the failed bid rounds, because of the Houston negotiated gas price that gives the upstreamers high profits up to 67%, and we zero-sum game, we go down. The 11 companies that have left Point Lisas, our energy sector is crumbling, and the central bank says in the same global situation with war that the energy sector also contracted by 5.1%. The energy sector was hampered by declines in natural gas production and LNG refining. The LNG Atlantic Train 1 that Rowley take 233 million with Small Pin, flush it down the toilet, but tell you that you cannot get gas subsidy because it's unproductive. But them throwing away 233 million, that is productive flushing. The central bank said that food inflation went up to 10.3% in July. 10.3% in July, and core inflation, overall inflation on everything, went at 4.9%. Unemployment rose to 5.1% in comparison to 4.9% in the previous quarter. And this is a tiny article in the Newsday only. Well, just like their leader, all the ministers are out of touch, arrogant, bold-faced, ignorant, dotish, don't care, disdainful. Listen to this minister. She runs Shamfa.
And there are difficult decisions that we have to take, that we must take, not only for ourselves, but the little children who are coming up among us. You hear the cries of everybody who wants everything right now. What are we prepared to do? What kind of sacrifices are we prepared to make? What kind of investment are we prepared to make now, so that the little children who are coming up among us would have something to look forward to? And this is something we really have to take into consideration. Everybody wants everything for nothing. Everybody wants everything, but willing to give up nothing. You want a good life now. We all want a good life now. But what kind of investment are we making for the younger ones? What kind of preparations are we making for the younger ones? There are people among us right now who don't have a proper savings for themselves. Far less have a proper savings for their children to go to university. We as a government have to take that into consideration and make the necessary changes and do the necessary things that we have to do now to allow a better future for the children who are coming up. We sit here healthy and strong, looking good, well fed, because somebody else had to sacrifice then so that we can have now. So then why is it so hard for us now to sacrifice for the young children?
Well, Shampa, you're not looking good. You're looking well fed. But let me tell you all that is from a minister who has been there for the last 7 years as her government shattered the energy sector, shattered the economy, did not diversify, made sure that over 103,000 people lost jobs before the pandemic, mismanaged the pandemic, took decision to shut down Petroltrin, Houston gas price negotiation, caused pain and sufferation and mismanagement of the economy as they got big and fat, as they sat there and recused themselves 210 times, as a sitting attorney general got $84 million of your money, as the number 2 in the office of the prime minister, the small pin and his family benefited to $5 billion, as ministers sat there and their wives got contracts and recusal after recusal. The prime minister recused himself 7 times. He's still running a goat farm and he negotiating houses and not filling out his Integrity in Public Life Act form, as they took the decisions to mismanage the economy, shatter all the positives that Kamla and her ministers had done, whether in education, in sport, in roads, in infrastructure, in the sea bridge, in tourism, across the board. They shattered that. And they have destroyed the economy, destroyed our future. The central bank shows that even with a war, with global prices skyrocketing, with no refinery, with no point leases, with no gas, with no bid rounds, because of these idiots, we are in pain. They are saying now, because they are incompetent, you must take more pain. And if you don't take more pain, that you are selfish and you all voted for that. Shampa changed color in 7 years. Shampa moved from square to come kind of thing and now blowing back up. Shampa have different weave every week. I hear weave is all kind of 5,000-10,000. Shampa, I don't even know about bag. Shampa moved from crocus bag to Louis Vuitton. Run it, Archie. What's that, Shampa? Louis Vuitton, 33,000. That's Shampa, girl. Did you declare that on your Integrity in Public Life Act form, Shamfa? Did you? Because if you didn't, Shamfa, you have a little problem, girl. You see? 33,000 for a handbag, Shamfa? Really? run Stephen Rees, hear the people talk about this, but don't get confused. Shampa is not known for her original thought and her creativity. She is not an intelligent human being who was uplifted to the position of minister of anything because of her achievement and merit. Shampa reached there, Lord alone knows how. But she is exactly like Rowley. So don't be shocked when Shampa talked that arrogant nonsense. Shampa said that to Tobagonians, take what you could get because a bird in here and not in the bush with self-governance bill. Shampa is the one who told you, but people in Tobago not starving. Look at almond milk on the shelf when the sea bridge was collapsed. Shampa is the one went in on a trip and spent $59,000 of your money because she didn't know about roaming. So where all your shock? Rowley choose Shampa because Shampa is Rowley. Stephen Rees, let me hear you.
Yeah, people. I come on right now because I'm angry. And very few things has anger me. It's had to go to the extreme to really get me angry. That is one emotion I just try not to, to activate. But I read an article today in the Express, and you could go and read it yourself. Because I feel Shampa Kujo going mad, I feel Shampa Kujo don't know who she talking to, I feel Shampa Kujo on drugs or some kind of thing, Yeah, something ought to be messing up she head. Is either that, or she stand up next to Dexter Daps to take a picture the other day and get stupid. Shampa Kujo in the Express today under a headline, Everything for Nothing, at the opening of the Tacarigua Community Center. Turn and tell the audience, as it relates to the critics of the national budget, that people in this country want everything for nothing. That's what she's saying, and that it have certain people in this country that never work a day in their life and collecting pension. Shampa Kujo say that. Shampa Kujo, let me put your weave wearing, liposuction, plastic surgery, face look like you're behind self in check right now. You want to talk about everything for nothing? Everybody in this country, whether they collect pension, disability, wherever they collect a salary, whatever, every time they go to the grocery, they pay a tax. It's called value-added tax. Good? People just pay road tax. Right? People just pay taxes in this country. Everybody. Every single citizen just pay their way. You know who don't pay their way? In Trinidad and Tobago? Politicians like you. You see, politicians like you, all they don't pay all their way. That's right. All they just live off the sweat or the working class brow. The same working class that all they only want to give 4%, while all they living it up nice. All they don't pay for gas, all they don't pay for food, all they don't pay for anything. All they have armed security, detail, taking all their way of all they want. So, Roxo, without everything for nothing talk, every citizen in this country does pay their way. Politicians is the only one on a free ride. Alright, Shampa Kujo? In addition to that, you's not the same minister.
And Shampa say, we misquote she. Put she in the car and she attacking media. Come in, Shampa, song like Rowley. Shampa, Rowley, run it. The one when she in the car, man. Yeah, run it.
Session are you from? CNC3. From CNC3, you heard what I said tonight, and you also heard what I said last night. The full speech is there for all the media and all of Trinidad and Tobago to see. What sense does it make interviewing me if the media is going to write and spread what they want anyway? So my advice to you, listen to what I said tonight and what I said last night and report what I said, rather than taking bits and pieces and making mayhem with it. Yeah, so
right. And what advice would you give to the public of Trinidad and Tobago? I mean, people have
the same advice I just gave to you, to listen to what I said, read for yourself, research for yourself, listen to what I really said and go by that, rather than for the bacchanal that's being created. Yes?
So you believe what you said was blown out of proportion?
You heard what I just said. I said it twice, and I'm sure you understand me very well. Yes? Come on now. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, take care.
We listened to the whole speech. You are saying that we the people want everything now and we don't want to save and put nothing for the future for the children. When Kamla was there, yes, and you put memes up while I talk, Kamla left 12.26 billion US in reserves. You all have it down now to 6 billion, 6.8. Kamla left 7.6 billion in the heritage and stabilization. I showed you all tonight, it's down to 4.78. Kamla left people employed, created 56,000 jobs. Kamla kept children with gate up to 59,000 children were going into tertiary education. You all have our children at CAPE and CSEC and SCA failing at the highest levels, and you talking about sacrifice. We must sacrifice because of your stupidity, Shamfa. You can't even get sport budget, football suffering, all the sports suffering. And you come to talk with your arrogant self. You move from paper bag to big handbag. But listen, Shamfa was so from the start. You know, you may not recognize her because this was way back when they just win election. Show me the Lekoto. Show we Rowley Lekoto put necromancy and voodoo and evil on Manning. Here the next one who boasting about Lekoto and necromancy and evil and voodoo and Obia. Here the next one. Come in, original Shamfa.
As the leader of the bench said on the first day, we are in charge of this house and you are going to deal with it. You are going to learn to deal with it because we are going to be in this place for the next 5 years at least and in your face for the next 5 years at least like a zombie from Lekoto. Lekoto. So find a way to deal with it. Find a way to deal with it.
Even while I was praying in my bathroom, I was debating with God. I said, God, this Obia thing that you're talking about and this necromancy and this reliance on ancestral spirits and hereditary spirits and marine spirits and aquatic spirits and serpentine spirits and all kinds of things. I was saying, man, that's opposition behavior. We in the PNM don't get on with that. And right there and then I get a deep conviction in my spirit. I am standing on the authority of God and I am saying to you this evening, the Holy Spirit tell me that PNM people practicing necromancy too. I'm telling you. I'm putting it to you.
But it's showing it here now and they pound the table talking about Lekoto and voodoo. All you Christian people who more spiritual than me, what say you on that as you dip your finger for that? But Kamla deal with Shamfa. Kamla, mash up that lady there.
Station are you from?
CNC3.
From CNC3, you heard what I said tonight and you also heard what I said last night. The full speech is there for all the media and all of Trinidad and Tobago to see. What sense does it make interviewing me if the media is going to write and spread what they want anyway? So my advice to you, listen to what I said tonight and what I said last night and report what I said rather than taking bits and pieces and making mayhem with it. Yeah, so
right. And what advice would you give to the public of Trinidad and Tobago? I mean, people have
the same advice I just gave to you, to listen to what I said, read for yourself, research for yourself, listen to what I really said and go by that rather than for the bacchanal that's being created. Yes?
So you believe what you said was blown out of proportion?
You heard what I just said. I said it twice and I'm sure you understand me very well. Yes? Come on now. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, take care.
Video Vishnu Senate for we quick because it was in the parliament mash up. But then let me go to Keith Scotland now. Keith Scotland just showing you cabinet minister by cabinet minister the arrogance, the stupidity, the wickedness from Rowley telling all you don't drive in traffic. Here this one now. Where this one who can't get no portfolio. This black bencher. This one, Keith Scotland, who take $10,000 to sit on a committee to serve the MP as the MP, his own constituents. He take an extra 10,000. Here this clown.
A suggestion for me. In order to lose weight, I will ride to court. I will take a bike. That will save fuel. That's my solution.
That your solution? Well, when we see you not on a bike, and let me tell you something, you can't lose weight riding a bike to court. You have the right to mass to lose weight, boy, Keith Scotland. You all are the bloody idiots. You will ride, that's your solution. Let me see you in a car again. You disgusting liar. Come in. Bring him again.
Because how could you say, well, I heard somebody say, well, they got the fresh food hampers, but they couldn't cook. Well, what we say, make some salad with the tomatoes and the cucumber.
So poor people, all you do are gas, all you can't cook. Eat salad from this big fat one. Look the next one now, bring in fat after fat. The one who couldn't fit in the picture because Express didn't walk with a wide angle lens. I tell all you, if any of all you vote for these imbeciles, all you need to check yourself because you done wreck yourself. Bring in Manning. Let me hear this clown now.
It is my view, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that the subsidy on premium fuel should be completely removed. Anyone driving a vehicle that requires premium fuel is driving a luxury vehicle and should have no right to a fuel subsidy designed for poverty alleviation.
Number one, you big blithering idiot. You nonsensical fool. You who hugs up a man who says he put spirit lash and kill your father and give him a stroke. You nonsensical clown. You big wannabe picture making idiot. The subsidy was not created for poverty alleviation. The subsidy was created, the concept of it is that each and every citizen born in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago owns a little bit of the oil and gas. It does not belong to the PNM, it does not belong to Rowley, and it certainly does not belong to you. Just because you take Randall Mitchell girl, you feel that you could come here and talk to people about who should drive premium and who cars should not take premium. Randall Mitchell is not no bastion of no manhood. You could take girl from easy. Look at yourself. Shirley must be watching you all day and want to know how she sharing the bed with you. What space she must be rolling off. In the whole night she must be falling off the bed. The amount, the wide angle you is. But then, we also have, this is no joke. How many of them I show you already? Come in and show our next PNM minister who has their head up in the clouds. Show it.
If it is that you wish to buy a gas guzzler, then you pay the price. In other words, we all called upon to make the right choices as well in terms of the kinds of the vehicles, the use of the of vehicular transport as well. I think we all have to look at it. I can tell you, even though I drive a reasonable, expensive car when it comes to the cost of fuel, I am very, very, very careful and organized in how I do my business to ensure that I cut my expenditure.
Wow, not finished yet. Give me our next Paula. Paula, amazing. A reasonably expensive car and buffing the people. If you want to buy a gas guzzler, look at all of these PNMs singing from the same hymn book. You, the citizens, are dotish, lazy. You don't want to sacrifice. All you want everything for nothing, and them in power because all you dip your finger PNM for that. Really? Run Paula again. Let me hear Paula.
PTSC doesn't need 360 buses. PSC needs 1,000 buses. And it needs 1,000 buses with a schedule that makes it regular. And that
and again, there is an efficient schedule. There is a fairly efficient schedule. That's one. I've never heard the public complaining about buses not coming, etc., etc. There may be the occasional circumstance, but I can't. No, I have to set the record right.
As you know, we pigs are the brains of the farm.
Not yet.
And we must have a quiet place to work in, for all your sakes.
I ain't ready for that yet. Paula Gopi-Schoon, you never heard people complaining over the last 7 years about the PTSC service? You never heard the drivers complaining about buses breaking down and no brakes and no maintenance? You didn't hear passengers complaining about rain falling through the roof on the bus? You didn't hear about people complaining that the bus is not running on time and they're broken down? And you didn't hear about that PTSC that's run on time? And that's a minister. If you don't know the problem, now you see why nothing works. Because all of them up in the clouds in their fancy, reasonably expensive cars and telling you to ride bike. Because we in Animal Farm. But wait, don't show Animal Farm there yet, Archie. There's a small pin. Let me go one by one. It have more. Here, watch this small pin now. This is the super minister. This is Gary Sobers of Rowley's cabinet that you all voted for. This is the one who sits down and has over 50 recusals, 92 recusals, heading to 100 recusals. This is the one whose brother had zero work from the public sector when he swore in to be a minister, and up to now it's about 4.2 billion in work. This is the one who sits at the right hand of Rowley wherever he go, carrying the handbag and massaging the foot. This is the one who Rowley puts his father in charge of the IFC. Ewart Williams resigned, and also in charge of everything when the Economic Development Board and Dr. Farrell all resigned because Rowley wasn't listening. Rowley take this one father and put him in charge of all investments. Never mind, they had no investment because we in negative foreign direct investment for 4 years. Let's listen to this Stuart Small-Pin young one now. Run it.
While being the minister of everything who is good at nothing, he has taken a vow of poverty.
I wish I was a millionaire.
Like the poor man he is, Stuart Young must choose between just $2 million Mercedes-Benz to get to work. They cost a measly $1 million each. Sometimes, all he has is his $1 million government Prado that takes him home. At night, like all poor men, he sleeps in his $3 million mansion, dreaming to perhaps one day have a heated pool. As a humble lawyer with the likes of Hart, Stuart took home a simple salary of around $1.9 million in legal fees, barely enough to feed him, his wife, and his journalist outside girlfriend. Tragedy struck when his stepdaughter was kidnapped. Stuart was forced to pay a ransom of $167,000, wiping out all the money he had in his jeans pocket. So, as you go to bed at night comfortable with no water, or having lost your job, or having had your small business shut down from the botched government response to COVID-19, spare thought for Stuart Young. Make a donation. Send a check to MCB Global Finance, the company run by Stuart's brother Angus. But wait, don't worry. The government is already giving MCB Global all your money.
We're not done there. Now the next one is Minister of Man, Marvin Gonzalez, the worst Minister of Public Utilities in the history. It's not a video, I'm going to read it here for you. It is the worst. 16% of the population getting a 24/7 water supply in February. Now it's about down to 14% and going down. The whole of Diego Martin, where the Prime Minister is the MP and the Minister of Finance, have no water. Water coming in your tap. If the Salcott only go down, it's 2 water in your tap. And this arrogant fool, this Minister of Man says, Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez has said, the people are grateful the PNM is in power and not the UNC. As all the latter brings is chaos and confusion. No, what UNC brings in your ministry is 74% of the population getting a 24/7 supply of water at the correct rates and electricity without 12-hour total national blackout because a tree hit something. That's what the UNC brings. But we told you all, you read a book in 1984 called Animal Farm. And this is what happens. From all these ministers, from Shamford to Rowley to Imbert to Small-Pin to Marvin Gonzalez to Paula Gopiskun to this one who's not a minister, the one who going and ride bike, but there are no bike could take his weight. Scotland to Brian Manning. All of these are the same type of human being because they in their minds believe that they are more equal than you. Run it, Archie. The Animal Farm.
Surely you don't want your glorious leader to live in a sty? Of course not. And yes, we do sleep in beds. And why not? No ruling against beds. Pile of straw is a bed. Would you rob us of our sleep so that we're too tired to carry out our duties?
But the commandment...
What commandment? There was never a commandment against beds. Read it.
No animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets.
You see, it's a commandment against sheets. And we certainly don't sleep in sheets. Oh, no.
Napoleon is always right.
Exactly.
All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
More equal than others? Come on. We should leave while we...
And just to show you all, a man did a video, he put it 200, right? This is the citizens, this is fuel, this is y'all. They say that you getting subsidy and ease in your pocket so you can move around, use your car, get your children there, security, safety, earn a living. That's not productive spending because you are not as equal as them. They are in charge. Your taxpayers' dollars, all the oil, all the gas, all the resources of Trinidad and Tobago are for them to sleep in bed without sheet. It's for them to be more equal than you. Look at the citizen. This is an example. Lida did one too. There are hundreds of them. Show them.
All right, watch it. There we go. Hold on. Press pause a bit. Good, I missed it. All right. Let me see what $200 give us there. Watch it down there. Okay. It was on E earlier. It's on E. And they didn't raise it yet, huh? They didn't raise gas yet, huh?
I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Going up. It's $250. Alright, half tank. And $200. $200 and you're barely getting a half tank of gas, Jed. And they're talking about raising. I feel like you're gonna ask Siri how to make gas, yes? Hey Siri, how to make gas?
Sorry, no recipe for Trinidadian gas. You will just have to catch your ass.
Well, Siri, there is a recipe. Get rid of the PNM, vote out the PNM, because Kamla Bisesa says that that is productive spending, that spending the money on a gas subsidy for each and every citizen that is born here as part of their birthright, that is what she believes. That's why she spent $20 billion between 2010 and 2015 for the gas subsidy for each and every one of you. She did not give nurses no $437 a month and tell them thanks for risking your lives. Kamla does not play games with human beings. She shows respect to labor, settling 143 wage negotiations. So don't think, Siri, that there is no solution. There's a simple solution. You have this animal farm on one side in the PNM, and you have Kamla Bisesa on the other side. Forget the media and forget the nonsense, forget the lies, forget the innuendo. Facts are facts. That tank would have been full under Kamla with that $200, but Kamla done mash them up. Brian Manning, PNM, come in, Kamla, mash them up as I finishing off here. Run it.
I believe his entire cabinet seems to be out of touch with reality. When one member who racks up $60,000 in monthly salary, bills, room and bills in thousands of dollars, drinking almond milk and yogurt, and could glibly speak about sacrifice. Where's the sacrifice? Shame, shame, shame. Another member takes to Facebook to complain about being cut out of a picture in a newspaper. I mean, are you for real? Is this real? Are these the people who are running our country?
Are these the people who are running our country? And the sad answer is yes. because some of you all did not know them, but you know them now. I don't blame you, because you had newspapers like this. You have Express, 89,000 papers a day. Not now, it's gone down. Newsday at the height, 49,000 papers per day. They've gone down to about 8,000 now, because we've brought out the truth and showed that Julie Raymond is a disgusting Rowleyite. And this newspaper, Guardian, 17,000 papers, plus CNC3, plus TV6, plus 13 radio stations espousing the most vile nonsense about PNM stupidity, like 96.1 and Chinese Laundry, who then wants to complain about situations in the country when he supports and he gets largesse and vast amounts of revenue from the PNM. Don't complain now, you disgusting clowns. You put yourself and your pocket above the country, because politics is a very serious thing. And don't bad talk Kamla. Look at Kamla's record. Don't talk nonsense. Don't play innuendo. Don't talk personal gains. Look at policy. Because even the Guardian now, who put Rowley there, the Guardian of Rowley's Capex, meet the people halfway. Guardian, Rowley cannot meet the people halfway because you put Rowley all the way. You allowed Rowley to be there. You hid the truth. You don't put the truth. You don't give Kamla the credit for the policies and the work that she did in every ministry across the board. There is no comparison. The fact that Rowley is still there is because of you, Guardian. So don't talk now and beg Rowley to meet the people halfway. You sold out the people and you put Rowley there. So anybody who's left, labor unions, workers, people who drive car, people who have children, people who want education for their children, people in sport, people in culture, people who want to go in the hospital and get good service, any one of y'all who could say honestly, I vote for Rowley, you lie. Good night.
They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15%.
Only PNM could do that. You think UNC could do that?